Hi everyone, welcome to the fifth video on this series of Introduction to Equations. In this video, I'm going to discuss the trial and improvement method for solving equations. Now this method involves guessing a solution to the equation and then improving on your guesses until you get the correct solution. Let's look at an example of solving by trial and improvement. I want to find out what the value of x is so that 0.6 times x plus 2.34 is equal to 0.39. Now firstly, I can see that the value of x must be negative because 0.39 is less than 2.34. So I'll need to be subtracting from that 2.34 to get to 0.39. I'm going to start by guessing a value for x. Firstly, I know it's negative, and maybe it's about 3 times 0.6, because 3 times 0.6 will be 1.8. So if I say x is equal to negative 3, now I'm going to use my calculator and substitute negative 3 in for where x is. And when I substitute that in, I get for negative 3, 0.54. That seems like a good guess. Let's try a smaller number. How about x is equal to negative 4? If I substitute negative 4 into the left-hand side, I get negative 0.06. Oh dear, I've taken away too much. But what I can tell is that x is between negative 3 and negative 4. And it seems to me it's probably closer to negative 3 than it is to negative 4. So how about we try x is equal to negative 3.2. So if I substitute that in and I use my calculator to check, I get 0.42. I'm definitely getting closer. Let's go a tiny bit smaller. Let's try x is negative 3.3. And when I substitute that in, I get 0.36. Ooh, that's too small. So I can see that x is between negative 3.2 and negative 3.3. Now a value that's between negative 3.2 and negative 3.3 is x is negative 3.25. Now when I substitute that value in, I get negative 3.9. Therefore, x must be negative 3.25. Now let's take a look at the method I used. I didn't just guess wildly. I started making a bit of sense of the equation and thinking x must be negative. Then I honed in closer and closer until I got to what the value of x is. So it's not just solving by trial, it's solving by trial and improvement. So after making a trial, which is like a try, if it doesn't work, improve on that value and see if you can get closer and closer. Let's look at another example. In this example, I have x on both sides of the equation. So when I choose a value to substitute for x, I'll need to work out what the left-hand side is equal to and what the right-hand side is equal to. Now I'm not sure where to start, so how about I start with x being 1, and let's see how this works. So the left-hand side, if x is 1, I can do this in my head. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 7 is 10. And the right-hand side, I can do in my head. 5 times 1 is 5, minus 2 is 3, right-hand side. Oh dear, I'm far off. Let's jump a little bit higher. How about we try x is 5? So my left-hand side, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 7 is 22. And the right-hand side, 5 times 5 is 25, minus 2, 23. Ooh, we're getting a little closer with my left and my right being quite close together. How about we try x is 4? So if I substitute x is 4, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 7 is 19, and 5 times 4 is 20, minus 2 is 18. Again, I'm very close. So surely X is between 5 and 4. So let's try halfway. Let's try 4.5. Here I'm going to use a calculator to help me. 3 times 4.5 plus 7 gives me 20.5. And again, I'm going to use a calculator. 5 times 4.5 minus 2 also gives me 20.5. So here I've got the left-hand side equaling the right-hand side. Therefore, x is equal to 4.5. So when you solve by trial and improvement, you start with a guess that might not be too clever, but you very quickly start guessing closer and closer until you get the solution. I suggest you use a calculator to help you, and you don't need to write down all you're working out. You just need to keep a short record of what you've tried so that you don't try it again. So finally, you might think that this is quite a tedious method. And in the next video, we're going to start discussing methods that are more efficient for solving equations. Now in the future, once you've learned more efficient methods of solving equations, you can still go back to trial and improvement when you've got an equation that you can't work out how to solve. Trial and improvement is really helpful when you don't know what other method to use.